Salvete omnes, hodie legemus partem acto de libro cuius nomen est Ritchie's Fābulae Facilēs. Incipiamus. Acto, the rescue. At Perseus ubi haec videt, gladium sum eduxit, et postquam talaria induet, in aera sublatus est. Tum de super in monstrum impetum subitu fecit, et gladio suo colum ius graviter vulneravit. Monstrum, ubi sensit vulnus, fremituum horribilim edidit, et sine mora totum corpus in aquam mersit. Perseus, dum circum litos volat, reditum ius expectabat. Mare autem interea undique sanguine inficitur. Post breve tempus berua russus caput sustulit. Mox tamen a Persio ictu graviore vulnerata est. Tum iterum se in undas mersit, neque postea visa est. Bene. At Perseus, and Perseus, sa, so ubi here would be when, and when Perseus saw these things, that's the accusative neuter plural. Gladium sum eduxit, he took out his sword. Et postquam talaria induit, and after postquam, he put on, induit, talaria, his winged shoes. In aera sublatus est, he was lifted up into the air. So sometimes students come across this, they see sublatus est, and they can't find it in the vocab list. They go and look in the S's. It's actually the past passive participle of tolere. The grammatical reason for this is called suppletion, where sometime in the past two words basically got merged together. So you end up with the present and the perfect looking very different. Mostly for reading purposes, you just need to read some texts that have sublatus est and things like that in them, and that'll help you remember that it means was taken up. Tum de super in monstrum impetum subito fecit. So then he made, fecit, impetum, an attack, subitu, suddenly, in monstrum, so into the monster or at the monster. The preposition in can take either the accusative or the ablative. If it takes the ablative, it means something like I'm in the road, where you're just in there, it's giving the location. When it takes the accusative, if it's got more of a force to it, like you went into the road. So he's attacking at the monster here. Et gladio suo colum ius graviter vulneravit. And he wounded, vulneravit. If someone is, being vulnerable, that means they can be wounded, perhaps emotionally, in the way we usually use this when people say, oh, you need to be vulnerable. So he wounded his neck, or its neck, gravely, graviter, and we've got that ending to tip you off that it's an adverb. And how did he do that? A gladio suo, with his sword. Here we just have those two words in the ablative. You get to provide the preposition. I'd use with his sword, or by means of his sword, if you want to sound hoity-toity. Monstrum ubi sensit vulnus. So the monster, when the monster sensed the wound, vulnus, fremituum horribilum edidit, it gave out a great cry, et sine mora, and without delay, sine takes the ablative, totum corpus, its whole body, it immersed its whole body in the water. Or you could translate this as it sunk its whole body in the water. Now, you might have seen these two words here, vulnus and corpus, and looked at the ending and said, oh, us there. Those must be in the nominative, but they're not. They're in the accusative. The monster sensed the wound. He sank the body. Well, why is that? Well, vulnus and corpus are both third declension neuter nouns. So the single nominative and the singular accusative are spelled the same. And you have to use context to determine what case it's on. Something to watch out for there. Perseus, dum circum litus volat, reeditum ius expectabat. So Perseus, so while dum, Perseus, flies, volat, around the beach, circum litus, and there we've got another case of an accusative that might look like it's in the nominative, was expecting or was waiting for reeditum ius, his return. Mare autem, the sea, however, in ficitur, was died, or is died. We see that tur ending. Interea is meanwhile. So the sea, however, meanwhile, was died. How was it died? Undique, everywhere, with blood, sanguine, in the ablative. Post breve tempus, so after a short time, Berua Rosus caput sustulit, the beast. So before we've been using the word monstrum to refer to the monster, now they introduce this new word Berua. Again, Rosus sustulit, raised up its head. Its isn't in the Latin, so you just have to provide that. Raised up its head. Soon, however, mox tamen, it was wounded, vulnerata est. We've got a past passive participle. It's in the singular feminine nominative to match bellua. So it was wounded by Perseus, a Persio, by a grave stroke. Ictu graviore. Both in the, ictu's in the ablative there. Tum iterum, then again, it sank itself, or it emerged itself, say, means it did it to itself, in undas. Undas here is in the accusative, so in takes that kind of accusative force, so it sank itself into the waves. If you were translating this, you might say, then it then it emerged himself under the waves again. Neque, and neither, postea, afterwards, was seen. Visa est. Again, another past passive participle construction with visa matching bellua. Bene.